So, hi guys.
Hi.
Thanks for joining in today.
Yes.
With me, Mario Schönhofer.
Hello.
Mario is very famous through his band Ströme, very popular in Germany, Europe, and I hope everywhere else.
Yeah, I hope so too.
He was one of the first guys to really play whole concerts in Modular in Germany.
Yeah.
He's also very known from his former band LaBrassBanda, one of the most popular bands in Germany over the last decade. But he switched over to playing Modular.
A couple of years ago.
Former life, he was
10 years ago.
the top 5 bass players in Germany. Toured with Randy Brecker and everybody.
I was a studio musician, so to say, and found I was looking for new ways to, so to say, to express myself, and synthesizer was always with me. So switching over to Modular was kind of natural thing to me, so to say. And I took the Modular also on tour with bands and had good experiences with it. So
Also, some might not know that you have studied jazz in Austria.
yes, I was at the Bruckner Conservatory, and I studied a jazz electric bass and composition, and we also had a department for electronic music where we had some EMS synthes and stuff, and those days we didn't really care too much about it, but
Yeah.
we were more interested in playing, but yeah, here I am.
Yeah, one of the things that you said that was very inspirational to me is that you said that if Miles Davis, one of the greatest jazz musicians of all time, maybe the most influential jazz musician of all time, Mario said if Miles Davis would live on today, because he died in 1989, or was it 90 something?
1991.
91. Miles Davis would play Modular today, because that's the most innovative way to make music currently,
Yes.
maybe.
Yes.
Yeah,
Totally
so-
agree. Totally agree.
And I'm very honored because Mario asked me that we make music together, not only today, but we founded a new project. It's called, the working title for now is called Modular Jazz. So I also have a jazz background myself. I play the saxophone, as some of you might know. And
I know.
so musically, we understand
Yeah.
each other very well. So
Yeah.
we decided to make a new project
Mm-hmm.
and try to force jazz onto Modular.
Yes. We try to play in jazz
And
clubs.
yeah, bring the spirit of jazz. I mean, jazz is not if you play swing or something. Jazz is a kind of a way of how to make music, where innovation is very important, improvisation, melody, harmony,
Free approach.
freedom. Yeah, a very free
Yeah,
approach.
very free approach to make music, and this is what we try to do here when we play together. Trying to find new ways of making music,
Yeah.
also, but also in a harmonic way, where it's possible for, let's say, other musicians to play with us on a, let's say, not a traditional way, but it's not on sound, it's more on harmonies and melodies.
Yeah, and what I like most when we play together, that we are really not fixed to any style.
Mm-hmm.
We can play techno if we want, but we don't mostly.
Mm-hmm.
We can play from bossa nova to modern free jazz, from rock music to hip hop. Everything happened in our last session in Soln last year. So
One day we played in his house, and I saw him play, and I asked myself, how can this hip hop beat come out of this guy? So it's very funny. Tune in, check it out. It's really funny. We have a lot of fun, and it's musically inspiring. Very
so what's
much.
up today? And in this stream, my idea was to make first an introduction into Droid for Mario, because Mario
Yes.
already uses the Droid for several tasks. One of them is to make his Moog 3P track. Let me see which camera. Yeah, he has brought this great Moog 3P with him, which has parts from 2020 or 19, and also some parts from
69,
from 1969.
something,
So
young
it's,
one, something.
and the Droid makes track that old beast over as many octaves as you like. So
Yeah.
that's one application.
Well,
Is-
it's like Moog had this keyboard when they brought out the 3P. They had a keyboard with a scaling knob,
Yeah.
so you can adjust the scaling.
It
Of
was
the
basically
volt
the
per
same knob.
octave.
Yeah, it's with the volt per octave calibration knob.
Yes,
Yeah.
you have it outside on the keyboard,
Yeah.
so you can track pretty quick when you're in a live situation. You just look at your tuner and you can adjust it. So I did this on some shows when I played 3P. Let's say with LaBrassBanda,
Yeah.
we did some yoga music, and
Yeah,
I
that's
was
a really
playing-
great disc that you
yeah,
created recently.
yeah. When we played a concert with 10 brass players, and it was important that the tuning is always
Perfect, yeah.
perfect. Yes, because they orient themselves on the Moog
Yeah, yeah.
synthesizer. So when it's get out of tune, I have a problem.
Everyone
and
gets lost.
everyone
basically,
gets lost basically because the Moog and the melodies they give
Yeah.
they are the kingpin of the harmony, so to say, and I found it really handsome to have this little knob to adjust it, because I was playing mostly on the keyboard. We didn't use sequencers. I played it all on
Yeah.
the keyboard, and it was very handsome tool. And so I found it very handsome when you got me this Droid module. Matthias brought it. I was at the Allgäu for like 2 months.
2 months ago, yeah. It still was kind of winter.
Yeah, it was kind of
It was-
winter, and then I took my Moog to the mountains and got a little house and make music for.
And it was a kind of winter garden with many windows.
Yes,
and
it
the
was,
sun
yes.
through the windows. It's
Yes.
very hard time
And
for the
this
Moog.
is actually a really hard time for the Moog. And Matthias brought me this really beautiful unit, and my Moog was tracking all 3 oscillator banks and 1 single oscillator. They were tracking perfectly. So
For those who already have a Droid, that's the so-called calibrator circuit.
yes,
So that's one of the applications. And then we did some fun with the arpeggiator.
did some fun with the arpeggiator.
And
Yes.
So
It was basically I had this unit,
Let me show you this unit.
this unique, exceptional, this one, and yeah, I didn't have those two. It was actually only
Yeah, it's four
This-
P2B8s and the bass
yes,
unit. Yeah.
and I had the calibrator plus an expanded
Yeah,
arpeggiator
yeah.
we did together, and this was a really inspiring instrument, and it worked perfectly with the Moog.
Yeah, and today, finally has come the time where Mario wants to learn to write the Droid patches himself.
Yeah,
And I took the opportunity to have to let you take part in this introduction course, because some of you might also be new to Droid, and I want to see how you can actually create such a Droid patch. And so that's
well, you gave me a
Yeah.
little inside view of the modules you were programming for
Yeah.
the module, and
but you
it
never
really turned me on. But I had so much work to do that I didn't.
I must
really-
admit that the learning curve of the Droid is a bit steeper than that of VCO, for example, but it
Yes,
can do
well,
more things.
okay,
so
okay.
it pays out over the time, but you have to get started, and yeah, let's
Yeah, let's
do
start.
it. And for this purpose, we have prepared something. So you see here in the Droid, we have 4 cables in the outputs 1, 2, 3, and 4, and those go straight to, let me see, it's cam 5, to the Moog 3P.
Yes, they are. Let's stand up pretty quick. We just patched these 4,
Beware on the cables.
jacks to. We have 4 jacks here, and they are the direct connection to the Droid modules. And
So one is pitch, and we have 2. We control the VCF and 2 envelopes, 2 VCAs. Is it correct?
we will control the pitch. We'll control the filter, the VCA,
Yeah.
and we have an additional envelope
For some modulation.
for modulation
Yeah, okay.
purposes. So this is basically, except for the gate, of course, but this is basically the setup I use on the bass for Ströme, so to say.
Yeah.
There are with Ströme I have some fixed controllers I use on the system, and it's really helpful to have it all in one box.
Yeah, and so this currently we will start with an empty Droid patch, and Mario gets has brought a laptop. It's a plain Windows laptop with not much on it, and so we start with something very basic. Let me see. Yeah. Okay.
So we
let's
erase
for the while erase
we
everything.
We need the card.
Yeah, erase everything, and then
Save as.
If you're new to Droid, the Droid patch is written on the small micro SD card. Can you eject it for the
Yes, I
while,
will.
for a second?
You're welcome.
So it's very simple. You have this little card that's shown on the camera, and on this card is one text file, and this small text file describes what your Droid shall do. And you can edit this file with any text editor of your choice. For example, on Windows we take a simple notepad. So, and the first task is that we want to make an LFO, because it's very simple. It doesn't need any input. So we make an LFO which just outputs, let's say, a square wave at the speed of 1 Hertz.
Yes.
To output
Put
1.
one.
So if I switch to the laptop, you see on the left side we have opened the file droid.ini
So we need
in a text editor. And
and we start.
and the Droid patch is made out of so-called circuits, and a circuit is like a small module within the Droid.
Okay, I do the brackets.
So let me see. Do we have German? Oh, we
Okay.
have English keyboard. Let me. Can you click here on the?
Oh, here.
Yeah, because I used.
German.
I switched to English.
German. We need
Yeah,
German.
okay. So we write an open square bracket, then the name of the circuit. Of course, you have to know these names, but they are on the manual.
Okay, so I suppose it's LFO.
Yeah, it's LFO, low frequency oscillator, and then comes a list of parameters, and each is either an input or an output.
Yes.
So we
output it on 1.
let's take 01 as an output, and now we have different waveforms, and we have one output for each waveform. So let's start with a square wave because it's easy to see.
So we output the square wave.
Yeah, and then equals, and then
output 1.
Important, that's not a 0, that's an O for output and I for input. That's the reason why it's an O. Okay, so yeah, that's basically everything. That's it.
So
every parameter has a default, and the default here is 1 Hertz. So if
so the next parameter is Hertz.
Yeah, you even could leave that out, then you get 1 Hertz.
Okay,
but
so let's
make 2. Okay,
so
perfect.
save as, and we eject it.
Yeah, eject the SD card.
So we put it in like this, and
Press the nifty button.
button.
And when it loads, now we can see,
it. So
that the output 1 flashes in 2 Hertz probably.
Yeah.
And if we would have a cable here, do we have batch cable somewhere?
Yes, I have.
Sometimes I check that with my tongue. Do you do that as well?
I don't do it.
I can
never did
smell. I can taste the difference between a clock and an envelope.
Really?
Yeah, it's try it. Oh, we have here. So sometimes if I'm looking for a problem, I simply make it like this. And you can use the other edge if you want.
Okay. No, I don't. No thanks.
Oh, it's 10 volts, so
okay.
it hurts a bit.
So where's the cable?
Yeah.
Cable got lost.
Cable got lost. Okay. But sometimes it's much quicker to look for something. Or do I have a signal? I don't get any sound. It's dead.
You're right.
You know.
You're totally right.
Taste it. Okay.
I don't like the taste.
Sorry. Okay. um,
So we
we need some yeah, something like this that we won't drop it if it falls out. Okay, so we have a very simple LFO, and
so I want to control that LFO, of course, in speed.
you want to change the speed.
Yeah.
Very easy. Okay, so you want one of these shiny knobs.
Yeah, I
change
want to
the
use
speed, yeah.
one of them.
Okay, so it's very easy. Each of these knobs creates a number from 1 to 0, from 0 to 1.
Yes.
So at left it's 0, and if it turned here, it's probably 0.5, and here we have 1. So, and in the Droid patch, let's switch over to your laptop. If you now change the hertz, the 2, by the knob, then you get a frequency from 0 to 1. Let's try that out as a first step. So you remove the 2, and instead, so we have several controllers. As you can see, this is the first one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it has 2 knobs. So it's the first pot on the first controller. So its name is P1.1. I usually write an uppercase P.
Yes.
Yeah, and what we also need to do, which I already have told Mario before, you need to specify which controllers you have attached to your Droid.
So this means P1.
No, it's P. No, you just have to type the name. So P2B8.
P2.
Yeah.
B8.
You just tell the Droid the first in the row is
Okay.
a P2B8 controller, because there are different controllers than P2B8. As you can see here, this is the P10 controller, which is quite new. I'm still waiting for the production faceplates. Unfortunately, the manufacturer did some misprinting, so we had to remake them. So it can take a couple of weeks until I get the final faceplates. But then I will start putting that into the shop, and then it will be available. It's basically the same as the P2B8, but it has 10 pots instead of 2. So it's a P10. So if you want to declare that already, then you could in the second line write P10. But for this patch, we don't need it.
We don't need it right now.
So let's go back to your laptop.
So this means
Yeah, if you just write P1.1, let's make it. Yeah, then you get a frequency from 0 to 1 hertz, because that's the range of the knob.
So I multiply that with 3.
Yeah, because 1 hertz is a bit slow. So
let's multiply it with
if you
5.
multiply it with 5,
You get 5.
the asterisk 5, then you get a range from 0 to 5 hertz.
So
yeah, let's try it out.
let's try it out. Save it.
It's always a good idea, if you're getting started with Droid, to try out things in small steps. So you have changed something, immediately try it out. It's a bit more work because you have to swap the SD card once more, but it's much easier to get started. And if you make an error, then you know it's in the thing that you've recently changed.
Should work.
So now, if I switch to the Droid, you need to turn the pot in a way that it's not hidden. It's a bit difficult when you make it like this with the camera, you know.
All right.
So if we have it at 0, it totally stops. It's an LFO with 0 hertz, sometimes very useful. And it's slow, faster, and here we have 5 hertz.
Very good.
Should be fairly precise.
Very good.
Okay, what else can we do with
So
an LFO? Typical LFO feature.
Would be the level.
What?
The level of
The
LFO.
level.
Yes.
Level. That's
Like putting it on the second part.
yeah. Make it on the second part, and
Yes.
also the waveform may be interesting. But let's start with the level. It's very easy. There's a parameter called level here, and if the level is at 1, it means 10 volts. So generally, the Droid outputs have a range from -10 to +10 volts. And in order to make things easy, a 1 in the patch always means 10 volts. So if you convert something to volt at the output, it's multiplied by 10. automatically. So you can directly map the second pot here.
So is P2 1?
Okay, now you need to know P2.1 is
Oh
this,
no, this is wrong.
is this one. Yeah, it's this pot
Yeah,
because
this
it's
is wrong. This is wrong.
the first number is always the number of the
One.
controller.
And then the pot.
Yeah.
That means this is
Yes, perfect. I usually write the P in uppercase. Sorry, I need to switch to the laptop. So here's the patch. Usually I write the P in uppercase. It's just it don't matter if you make it low uppercase. It's just a convention to make the patches better readable.
Okay. So,
But it will work anyway. If
Okay.
it's lowercase.
so this is what we need to.
Yeah. Let's try it out.
Let's try it out. Save it. And eject it.
We can do another tongue test. Yeah, because of course you can
But-
taste the difference
But
between
doesn't the light
the light
react
shows. Yeah,
to
reacts.
the
Reload it.
Oh.
The
So-
light, yeah, we have the level at 0 now.
works out perfect.
You see, it's better if you need
Oh,
to
yeah.
make the hand like this, because otherwise the people. No, I need to switch anyway. Here, okay. Sorry for that. Still training.
So works.
So you see, until at the
Perfect.
middle position, it's red.
Yes.
It's made in a way that 5 volts is red with the brightest color, with the most highest brightness, and then it goes to orange, like a kind of like of overburn. So it's easy to see if you have voltages above 5 volts when it gets orange here.
This works very fine. Very fine. The controllers feel really good. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
So
So what's next?
how about,
I guess the next typical question would be waveform.
waveform. Yes.
Yeah, we want definitely different waveforms, because square wave. I mean, square wave for modulation. Do you use a square wave for
For
an
modulation.
unsynced square wave, a free running square wave for modulation? Because you always will hear some in between some notes, some nasty change or click. I've never found a usage myself for a square wave,
I use it more for syncing stuff.
but then it's a synced square wave where we have the
not all the time. It's
Okay.
sometimes I use one of the big Moog oscillators just as the sync source.
But then
for
it's running an LFO speed, or it's an audio
it's
speed?
it's running LFO speed. I sync my Döpfer
So it's a kind of master
155
clock.
with it. Yeah.
It's a
kinda
master clock.
master
Yeah,
clock.
okay, of course.
And this is
Yeah,
how
that's
I
the
use
same I do.
the square wave for. That's the most time I use this.
Yeah, same with me.
Yeah.
Same with me.
Um,
Okay, so
So-
let's look at the other waveform. We have quite a bunch of waveforms, so we could output some of the waveforms at the other outputs. For example, there is of course a sine wave, which we can let's map the sine wave to the output 2, just for fun.
okay, so this would be
It's called sine.
sine equals output 2.
Yeah, but it's
Oh.
not. It's yeah. Oh, 2. Yeah,
2.
it's that easy. So it's a kind of. It's like an oscillator with a separate output for each waveform.
And
Like-
we
like a
output the
module.
saw wave on output
Yeah,
3.
we have saw, then we have ramp, which is the inverse of the saw.
Mhm.
So saw here is rising. It's
Is
called,
it
but
enough?
It's called,
Is it enough
it's
to,
called sawtooth. Here,
is it enough to type this? in?
no, you need to type sawtooth.
Really?
I mean, there's a table in the manual,
All right.
which I don't want to bother you right now with it.
Mhm. No, it's good.
For each circuit, there's a complete list of all these parameters.
Okay. So
All 3. You see, there's a difference.
yes, there's a
There's
difference. I
If you
saw
type
it.
a
Just
0,
see how it's like this.
in this font, it always used for programming to have a font
Mhm.
where 0 and O is different. When I started learning typewriting, I had an old typewriter, and there was no 0. a German typewriter. It was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
So
9.
they use the O for.
The O, yeah. You usually use the O as a replacement of 0 because it's the same. For
So
a
I
computer,
say-
of course, it's something different.
So I save this.
Yeah,
Already
we have
saved.
more waveforms. We have it's
But we
interesting.
don't. I only have one more output here.
We
So ramp.
we have a ramp, and then we have.
Is it ramp up or
No, it's
just
just called ramp. It's just called ramp.
Okay.
I hope so.
I'll put it on 4. I did it again.
Yeah, it's a steep learning curve. And then we have what do we have? We have a strange waveform which is called how we
Random.
call it now? It's basically it's very mathematical. It's something similar in sign. It's a paraboloid. It's forget that.
Okay.
Yeah, let's try it out for the while. Let's try that, and then for the while check out the manual because there are so many interesting features on the LFO actually. And there was no Droid
It's
video.
written like this.
Let me see. Yeah, try it out. Then we can see what happens if you type an error.
You programmed that shit.
Yeah, I've forgotten it. Of course, I cannot remember every single parameter.
Another question is, it's on output 5.
Yes, let's
Alright.
make an output. It's basically constructed from
Steep learning curve.
How is it called in English?
What?
Parabel. In German it's Parabel. Does anybody know how Parabel is correctly pronounced in English? Parabel, but let me see.
I want to try out this now. So, rejected.
Okay, Droid manner. So let's check this out. LFO is page. Yeah, it's like.
Seems to work fine.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, it's
Yes.
paraboloid. It's. I need a further cable that I can show that. It's mathematically easier to compute. Let me show this LEDs. Okay. Okay. So
We have different waveform outputs.
what do you want to do next? I mean,
What
just
I really want to do is, how is it like mixing LFOs together in this unit?
Good
Like
idea.
you have 2 or 3 different LFOs running on one
Yeah.
filter
And you
or
want to
envelopes
Yeah.
or something. Can you use the Droid as a mixing unit with the
course.
internal modules?
It's a perfect CV mixer. So what you're speaking of is right now we just have wired inputs and outputs of the circuits directly to outputs of
Yes.
the Droid,
Mm-hmm.
but you also can connect them internally,
Mm-hmm.
and that's something we're going to do. So I suggest we simplify that LFO for the while again,
Mm-hmm.
and just leave the sign.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, let's keep the level because it's an interesting parameter when you mix.
Mm-hmm.
And then you copy all the whole that crap here,
Mm-hmm.
and let's drop the square. We don't need it for the while. We just
Drop
make
the
a
square.
sign. At
And we output it on 1.
yeah.
Shit.
Let's go here.
So we copy that.
Yeah, we copy all that. That's one advantage of a text file. It's very easy to copy stuff.
Love it.
So we have a second LFO, and
And this is, of course, on the other controllers.
yeah, now we want the speed to be controlled by another controller
P-
at the level. So we
P2,
simply
it would be
Yeah, make two.
P21.
yeah, P21 is basically that one. The
Yes.
first one on the second.
Yeah. P21.
Yeah,
It's logical.
and this is
And
P22.
P22, yes.
So we can output it to
And
2 maybe.
let's say we have a ramp here.
Okay, ramp.
Just to try it out, what happens.
Yes, and choose output 2 because if you can send 2 things at the same output, the
Mhm.
second one will override the first one.
Okay.
Okay, so that's still no addition. So the addition is very simple. If you want to do stuff like adding
Another question.
See,
Sorry
yeah,
for
yeah, okay,
interrupting you.
No,
Do
no
I
problem.
have to number the LFOs
No.
like LFO1 or
No,
LFO2
just like
for
that.
further usage? No.
The reference is done with other things. I'll show you later.
Mhm.
So now we just have two independent LFOs running freely from each other.
Controlled by four controllers. Of
Yeah. And now you want to have a mix of both, which is nothing else than the sum. We add the outputs. And this is, for example, easily to be done with the copy circuit. The copy circuit has an input and an output, but in the input you always can do one addition and one multiplication. So you don't need any further complication here. So simply write copy.
The brackets.
And yeah, I just read the chat while I see we have lots of friends here. MB Dirt is here, Vladimir is here, then Antinolfi is here, and everybody is here, which is very nice of you.
Hello.
So some of my friends from the Droid Discord, and also Vladimir who actually designed the hardware for the Droid. Yeah. So, and copy has an input and an output. So, and now at the input you are allowed to make, at every parameter you can make one multiplication and one addition. It's like an attenuation and an offset. So here you can simply write O1 plus O2. So
cool.
It looks a kind of bug because you actually, let me show you. Sometimes I forget switching the camera, so I apologize for that. It looks like a bug because you use outputs as inputs. But this works anyway because the Droid knows that O1 is the sine wave here. So that's the input, and the output goes to O3, for example.
So does the circuit should work?
Looks good.
Looks good. Save it.
Pretty good to me.
It's actually pretty easy when you understand
Yeah,
the system.
so let's switch here. Okay.
So
So you have reload. Okay, so we have 4 pots. Please turn them with the hand so that we all, yeah, we can see. So the level is roughly at the middle.
Did we?
Yeah, this is at 0 hertz, the second one. Let's see. Something is
wrong.
I know what's wrong. Haha. I haven't. It's my yeah. Thierry, here in the chat. You may add the P2 to the. You have to declare the P2 the P10. We have forgotten.
All right.
Thanks for that. Thanks here. Thanks. This is the correct camera. This is moderation camera. Total overview. This is the Droid. This is the laptop. These are 3 cams for making music. So sorry that I'm mixing up them all the time. 6 cameras plus 1 laptop.
So what is the?
So we need to declare the second controller here because he doesn't know the controller. So
we
it
just
doesn't work.
actually. Do we just
P10? No, now it's P10 because the second one here. Don't forget, the second one is this new and shiny P10 controller.
If it would be this one,
it would be a P2B8, yeah. Just copy this line.
P10.
P10, yeah. I mean, you could add all of these remaining ones because I'm sure that we will make this error once again later.
Then let's do it.
So simply copy the first line 4 more times because in our test rig we have this strange. I don't know why I've put this at the second place. Maybe because it's easier to handle these knobs.
So,
yeah, looks pretty good.
Save.
Eject.
Did we do all the? Okay.
Looks good,
I guess.
Okay, so let's see what's going on. Looks better. So each of the LFOs is running, and the 3 is the sum of the 2.
It's a level.
So now, of
Yes.
course, if you crank up both, you get distortion, which
But
is
it mixes them perfectly together.
Yeah.
All three.
it mixes. Yeah, it's no bug. But of course, if both levels are
Yeah.
at 100%, it's like audio. You get distortion because 1 plus 1 is 2, and 2 is 1 because 2 is clipped. There's no 20-volt output. So, but what we could do is make them bipolar, the LFOs, because currently the output goes from 0 to 10 volts. If you switch them to bipolar, it goes from -10 to +10. It's perfectly
Good
balanced.
idea.
In that case, it's perfectly balanced around 0 volts, like an audio signal.
Good idea.
In my opinion, for sine waves, bipolar is the easiest way to work with, and for square waves, usually unipolar.
Yes. So
So there's a parameter called bipolar, which is for the LFO.
For the LFO.
So you simply add bipolar equals 1, and that's it. Now the sine is bipolar and the other one is not. But it's your maybe
Goes
it
from 1
makes
to 10.
makes sense maybe to have it that way.
Level. If we divide the level, we can do that.
You could, of course, you could. You
So
could
it
have the
doesn't
level.
go out. It doesn't go over 5 volts.
You could make it like this. If both, then we don't have any distortion. It's a
Yes.
good idea. You can divide either by /2 or you
Yes.
can make times with this asterisk 0.5. Both
Okay.
is possible.
Okay. So the level is 0.5.
Yes, and here maybe the same, and then we don't have
Distortion.
any distortion.
But
anymore.
we can't do it here because we go bipolar.
No, we can do it. Here it's from -10 to +10 volts.
Oh, all right.
So if you make the level, be careful, it's the wrong line. Here you have the line with the sine output. You need on the line with the
On
level.
the levels. Yes, of course. Save it.
Yeah, you see it's a bit more dim. Also, you see the first go up with the level at max. You see it's now going
Yeah.
white. White means
Yeah.
negative voltages. So I make it a bit slower that we can see it more easily. Oh, I need to switch to 6. Sorry again. So you see, you have the idea when it's white, it's below 0. And the second LFO is almost,
Yeah.
And if we add the ramp,
Doesn't
get
go
some
over.
funny patterns.
Doesn't go over 5, obviously.
If we have both at full, we should then sometimes get the 10 volts again. If it happens that both are at 5 volts, we get 10.
Is there a kind of limiting for output for voltage output?
There's a hardware limit which is 10.
Which is
But you
10.
can enforce another lower limit
Mhm.
if you want. The copy circuit has a parameter. It's called maximum and minimum.
Oh yeah.
So then you can simply say maximum is 5 volt, for example, and then it's
So I just put it on in here, like in the lower line here.
no,
I said
it
minimum,
depends
maximum.
on what you want. No, the LFO is controlled by the level, and the copy circuit can have a maximum.
Oh, okay.
So regardless what these are, you can say maximum is equals. You need to write it out maximum. It's I think it's so. Let me check it out. I also need the manual, of course, sometimes. Page down. How can I get a page down here? Copy circuit is line. I have an old manual where I cannot click here. So let's check out. I check out the manual for the while. Is it correct? Yeah, minimum, maximum. That's perfect.
Okay. Maximum is?
Yeah, now that there's a trick. If you want 5 volts
Mm-hmm.
correspondence, so 0.5, because 1 is always 10 volts.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
you also can write 5 V. Then it means 5 volts, which is
Mm-hmm.
just an
Very
abbreviation for.
very handy.
It's just
Easy.
more easy to read.
So this is.
Yeah.
Did you switch the camera?
Yeah. It's this
Okay.
is always the program we send, so it's
All right. So
looks good.
so minimum we don't need. It's just
No.
like limiting.
But you could say minimum is minus 5 volts. Then you limit it.
Okay.
But then you get clipping, of course. It's no scaling. It's kind of clipping. This maximum. So when it would go over, you get a hard cut.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess this is enough. We can do it.
Yeah.
Minimum would be
So if for any
Minus
reason,
5 volts.
yeah,
This would be
yeah,
would work.
looks good.
Okay.
Looks perfect to me. Let's try it out.
Mm-hmm.
And we shouldn't get any orange anymore.
Levels.
I mean, now it's a bit
Yeah.
kind of saturated.
Yeah. Fully. Seems to work.
But it's just an example. Just an
Seems to
example.
work fine.
And by the way, the LFO can do lots of other fun things.
So you can basically add envelopes and every kind of CV and
Yeah, of
internally
course.
and just limit it on any voltage you want to have.
Yeah, of course. I mean, they mean the maximum is 10 volts because it's via hardware, but Eurorack anyways limited to the range of the power supply. So 10
Mhm.
volts is
Mhm.
already
Mhm.
as much as you can want. I mean, the LFO has lots of other features. We don't need to dig into any
Mhm.
feature. For example, you can sync it, of course.
Mhm.
And when you sync it, there's an interesting feature. You can sync it to a certain phase. So you can say, when the sync signal comes in, I want the LFO to be at 3/4 of the phase, at a certain oscillation phase,
Mhm.
which is sometimes important when you, for example, you have a sound where you have an envelope, a normal one, and then you
Mhm.
want it to be like ding, for example.
Mhm.
Then you need the LFO, the certain phase where it nicely merges with the
Mhm.
other envelope. That's
Understand.
and then you can tune and you could have the sync phase on a pot and then tune
Mhm.
and listen at which phase it looks best when the attack comes, for example. Or it has a tap tempo input. That's also interesting. So you can. All right, does it have a tap tempo input? Let me see. Yeah, it has a tap tempo input. So you can use a master clock for setting the speed of an LFO.
Mhm.
You can say.
How do we do that?
Okay. Let's. It's very simple. You say here input tap tempo. No, sorry. It's an input, but it's called tap tempo. Simply tap tempo.
An input, like here.
Sorry, it's a parameter. It's a kind of input jack on the internal circuit.
Mhm.
So each circuit has inputs and outputs. For example, this hertz is an input because it takes
Mhm.
some value.
Mhm.
Level is an input, sine is an output, bipolar is an input. And this is an input, so it's called tap tempo.
Oh yeah.
And you
Understand.
need to feed it with some steady clock.
Some steady clock or a button here.
It's I'm actually not sure if it works with the button really well. It's meant.
Tap tempo is meant to be with a button.
Then I rename it to clock. Maybe it works. Probably it works. But the idea is that you can put your master clock
Mhm.
in order to create an LFO that's not synced with the master clock, but running at a certain speed. For example, half of the master clock, 2 times the
Mhm.
master clock, 3 times, so you get wah, 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 wah,
Mhm.
sometimes something like that.
Okay.
So that's the reason why I added this tap tempo, that you can, when you change your master clock, your whole patch will work again.
You just create a
But
a
let's
little
try out
clock
a
here.
button. Let's try it out a
Okay.
button.
Okay.
Let's so we
Tap
see how to
tempo
work with the buttons.
equals
Yeah, the first
P
button. No, P is pot and
Uh,
button is
bottom.
Bottom. B like bottom.
So,
That's the reason why it's called P2, B8, because
and
B.
then it's
Yeah, it's B, then the number of the controller, and
1 and knob 1.
perfect.
Am I right?
Yeah, perfectly right.
Thank you very much.
Let's try it out.
Oh.
I mean, this LFO has lots of parameters that are only really possible with digital LFOs.
Mm-hmm.
Such a feature is
Let's try it.
but of course you still have this
Works.
Ah, very good. But it's multiplied with this still it adheres to
Okay.
this, to the frequency knob, of course.
Mhm. Works perfect.
Sorry, we haven't seen it once again. Again, I forgot to switch the camera. It's very hard work here to moderate
I
the
know.
show,
I know.
and we don't have a professional camera switching
I know.
assistant.
I know.
Okay.
Works fine. It's very good. That's this one. No,
Sorry, no.
doesn't add.
It's alternative. Sorry for that information, but there's a rate input that's meant for that. That's alternative. Sorry, that was my fault. When you use tap tempo, the hertz is not in effect anymore.
Okay.
But the LFO has a third way of
But
setting the speed.
Something's wrong here, isn't it? Oh yes, now it works.
It needs a couple of taps in a row, I guess, because it averages.
Okay. So let's say 3.
Yeah.
Yes.
I need to check
3.
it out. Maybe there's still some. To be honest, I've just checked this out with using steady clock inputs.
It uses 3, I guess.
So I need to check that out.
Okay.
I take
don't
down
know.
now and check
I
it
don't
out.
know. I'm sorry.
No problem. It's always someone is always the
I
first one to use something in a new way, and let me see.
Need to get some water.
Okay, so
Need to get some
yeah, take some water.
water.
So let's have a look at the chat. Hi, Matthias. May you specify in the documentation that the copy circuit accepts more than one input in input? That's basically not a feature of the copy circuit. It's a feature of any input that you can say name equals A plus B times C, or A times B plus C. So it's not a special feature of the copy input. Any input can add 2 values. That's something I've simply used here. If you need more than 2, you can use the mixer circuit, which has 8 inputs, and then you could have each input. If you have more than 8 inputs, you can use the sum. You can make use of the fact that each input has already the possibility to add 2 values. So it could mix up to 16 values. Okay, so
Back.
that's basically how the LFO works. And now let's try
Where's
some.
the computer?
Oh, it's here. Now let's make some more
Thanks.
fun. Maybe we could have. Couldn't we make some that we hear something?
Mm-hmm.
That
Of course.
we
But then let's work on
the envelopes.
two workstations, so to say, and maybe it's interesting for the people
we
to
have this
describe.
we could trigger something, or
Maybe it's interesting for the people
sorry.
to describe for our friends how I use LFOs, and
Yes,
we could
yes,
do it in this one.
yes.
I wa-
Because you are
as,
very
as you said, I was a bass player before, and I found it really interesting when I was playing bass to have total control over the envelope of my sound of the bass. So There are different ways to play it.
You mean the real bass,
The electric
Yeah,
bass, yes, and also the upright bass.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. And it was very important for me to have total control of the envelope, and so I was always really interested in how envelopes work in their rhythmical way.
But how can you influence an envelope? I play the bass myself just a little bit, and I know you have a string, then you pop the string, and then
you have
you lose control. Or do you
there's
turn with the knob? Or?
there's this trick: you rest the palm of your hand on the strings where they come out of the body.
You can dampen
on
it.
the bridge.
Yeah.
You damp it.
Yeah, okay.
You damp it with your left hand. You make like left hand muting.
Okay.
You have and I tried to do this on the electric on the modular synth, and I found out that it's really helpful to combine envelopes. So in my case, it's like I have at least 2 envelopes running into the filter. So the first envelope is the normal envelope you hear.
Yeah.
So this like most of this normal synthesizers have the envelope 2 goes to the filter. So this is the normal way, but I found it really useful to add another envelope, which is just a little bit on the attack, you know. So there is.
What do you mean with it's on the attack?
So there's also a sharp attack added to the sound.
Yeah.
So
so the
which
first
is like
envelope is more smooth. It has a
yes,
smooth
it
attack.
has like a decay.
Yeah.
There's like a smoother decay than the second one, which goes really sharp.
Yeah.
And this simulates like when bass players play the bass, the pick, the plectrum.
Okay, so you use
or
an
the
additional
fingers,
envelope to make it more snappy, to make
make it more snappy, and use other envelopes to do like a pseudo echo, echo.
Pseudo echo, yeah.
Like I add 16th notes to the filter. This is also a third envelope, which gives it a really powerful sound.
So you delay the third envelope by a musical amount of time, 1/16th, for example? Or
There is only a 16th clock running into an envelope. And this envelope is basically only a function generator of attack and decay.
Okay.
And this is added to the filter. And when you play a normal bass line and you add this one, it sounds like a delay. So, but you don't use a delay. And these are little tricks I use, because with Ströme we couldn't carry all that equipment, so I had to find ways to do some certain things on stage. And I found this really helpful. But you need a battery of envelopes and mixers and VCAs, because I add LFOs also to the filter.
And it's a nice application for the Droid, really.
And this would be a really nice application.
You could have 3 envelopes here, mix them internally, and just need one single fucking output, and can put 8 of these 3-fold envelopes into one Droid.
And this would save a lot of space in my rack, actually.
Yeah, so you would basically sell 1/3 of this 3P?
No, I wouldn't.
Okay, so let's dig a bit into the envelopes.
Yeah. This would be. So we need at first we need a gate input for the envelopes, do we?
Yes, we need. Shall we use that as a master clock, the Droid, for the while?
Yes, let's do that.
Okay, so we delete all this crap and
let's save it. Let's save it as.
Yeah, just save it somewhere.
Patch one.
Somewhere where you like.
Save as. Put it on a removable. Droid. This is like first. Droid. Oh. Okay.
Okay, so maybe you make undo and just keep the first 6 lines with all these controllers being declared. That these you scrolled out of them probably. So
yes, it did.
So we
just erase that.
Yeah, just from here.
Did you switch the screens?
Yes, we have. No, we have.
Yeah.
Yeah, we. Yoo-hoo! We see what you're doing. Very nice. Very nice. Okay.
So I hope I can remember all this stuff.
Yeah, you can watch the video later.
Oh yeah.
So okay. So one LFO as a master clock, which we control with one part.
LFO. Oh.
Brackets.
Wow.
Is it again? Has it switched back to English?
Why?
It has. What the fuck?
Why is that?
Maybe because you closed it and we reopened it.
Oh yes.
Okay, so
LFO
LFO.
Hertz. Let's say it's
By the way, there's a third input for controlling the speed, which is called rate. And rate is a volt per octave input for the LFO, which means that if you have 1 volt, it's duplicating this hertz. So you can also run it in a volt per octave way, but that's much easier for the knob to use the hertz input.
Okay. Should we? What rate should we do?
Let's go up to 20 maybe. Then we can have more fun. 20 times P11 maybe.
P11.
Yeah, perfect. And
Should
let's
work.
simply output a square wave.
Oh, I have to save it on in a specific name.
It has to have the name droid.ini on
save as
on
here.
this SD card. Removable disk.
Okay.
Replace, replace,
Yes.
of course. Replace, this sounds good. And then comes the trick. Now we want to save outputs. I mean, we have lots of outputs here, but let's save it. We don't need the clock output externally.
No.
We just need it internally.
Yes.
So now you can write output equals, and now comes the trick. We make a patch. I told you that that the Droid is basically a modular system for CV within a module. So we can use patch cables to interconnect these circuits. And these patch cables, in my first version of the Droid, they just got numbers and it was very confusing. So I switched over to give them names. And you use an internal patch cable by writing underscore and then a name of your choice.
I'm sorry.
For example, underscore clock is something. Yes, that's it. So, but each patch cable has. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Each patch cable has 2 sides. So the other we plug somewhere, for example, into an envelope.
Okay, so it's just the underscore is like for the patch.
Yeah, the underscore is like a small bar which looks like a patch cable. So for me it reminds me of a cable.
Good.
Okay, so next circuit, let's make an envelope, and because I found it very cool to use the Buchla syntax, it's called contour here. It's not ADSR, it's called contour because that's for coolness.
Yeah.
Contour generator. I think that's Buchla naming, isn't it?
Where was it?
How is it spelled? How do the Americans spell it? Is it contour?
What's happening?
What's up?
I don't know.
Okay, so contour, and yeah, it's what you always need is an input, and it's like the Ströme. You don't know this Ströme envelope generator, which has a trigger input and a gate input. And trigger input means that you get just an attack release envelope, where there's no decay phase and no sustain. These parameters are not used. And if you have a gate input, then you get this ADSR type of envelope.
So we input
the
clock.
I mean, this has the gate length of the square wave here is at 50% of duty cycle. You can change it in the LFO, of course, if you make the duty cycle.
We didn't even define.
Oh, sorry, there's a bug. It's not called output, it's square. You need square. And maybe, yes, let's use the duty cycle. That's an interesting idea. The pulse width. With the pulse width,
you can shuffle.
Yeah, it wouldn't create a shuffle because it's just the raising edge is always at the same time and the falling edge is a different time. But with the changing of the pulse width, we can change the length of the gate for the note, which is interesting for the envelope. So maybe you map this pulse width to a pot simply.
Then we have pulse width.
Pulse width equals P D
Width is equals.
Be careful, there need to be a D after the I. Yeah, English is sometimes a bit
confusing.
Too many characters for a simple word like this. Okay.
P
1.2 maybe.
1.2.
Yeah, sounds good.
Sounds good. Works.
So the output goes to clock, and now on the contour we use the gate. So we write gate equals.
We don't need input.
No, it's called either trigger or gate.
Gate equals
underscore clock. It's important that every patch cable that you use has at least one circuit writing into it and another reading out of it. Otherwise, it's a dangling cable. It's not of no use. And now we need an output of the envelope. This is simply called output, and that's the level of the envelope.
We didn't. Oh, the contour. Okay.
Of the contour,
of course.
yeah. So you simply add
So
output equals
01,
for example.
01.
And we haven't yet specified any attack decay or something else. Let's skip that for the while. The contour circuit has some reasonable default values that sounds like you can listen to it.
Should we what?
What's up? I don't understand. I think you can make continue and anyway eject it.
I save it.
Save it. I don't understand Windows sometimes. Yeah, very good.
Save.
Okay, so now we should get kind of envelope. It's very fast. Let's make it slower. And this is the pulse width. So if I make a very short pulse width, we get an ADSR, and the sustain defaults to 0.5 volts, which is quite high. So that's the reason when I make the pulse width very long, the sustain phase is very long. You see that it's read for a long time. So now we could try the Moog to play some note.
Yeah. I handle this to you.
Okay, so the first cable is outputting.
So it's just one simple oscillator. So cable 1 is outputting what? Just an envelope.
The envelope, yeah.
Okay, can you control the level?
No. We could. Maybe you make it a bit lower. Can you make it? I switch it on here.
You mean
it's very loud.
Increase the level. No.
Or box it. Maybe it's just the
like this.
Yeah. Live stream. Can you hear? Is the level okay, or is it too low or too high? Is it too loud or? Dear live stream, we need some feedback from you. Okay, so we have. Now if I turn the knob. If I go with the pulse width to 0, it stops, of course, because we don't get any spike anymore. And if the pulse width is at 100%, the wave also deforms to 5 volts. So nice and warm sound. Yeah, that's it. That's the Moog 3P. That's nice and warm sound. Mario's just adding some magneto. Nicely tuned with the clock, so if I change the clock...
Oh, just...
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I can stop it here.
Oh, okay.
Let it on. Then we can sit here and we can make. We could now add 2 envelopes to this signal.
It's
Simply let it run.
Can you make it a little bit longer?
Of course. Of course we can. You can make it.
I can make it.
That's a nice thing. That we can now we make the LFO 0 hertz. It stops. I love this feature. A clock with 0 hertz makes absolutely sense here.
Just make it like this.
Okay. So what we wanted to change, of course we want to change attack, sustain,
decay.
and all these 4 parameters.
So the contour parameter is an ADSR when the input is gate. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah.
And the contour parameter
circuit
is
it's called
circuit is an attack release or attack decay.
It's attack release. When you use trigger, just attack and release are being used. So the the decay and sustain phase are simply being skipped. And then there are several more phases. We have a pre-delay phase, which I think the Moog also has a delay phase. So you wait a certain time. when the text comes in, you wait a certain of time until the envelope starts. Then it has a hold phase, which is found in some Swayman
like
envelopes.
on the BLD.
I'm not sure who has invented it, but it's a kind of on the top level, right after the tag, for a short time, it's kept at the top level before the decay begins to make it more fat. It sounds more fat. Usually you use a very short hold phase. And then it has something called called swell. You can have during the sustain phase, you can make it that it's going loud again. You know, it's like a forte piano on some, you know, the brass sections when you make ba.
You've thought about so many years.
And then you have, of course, the release, and yeah, so it's quite versatile. But for the while, let's control the 4 parameters.
Yeah, let's control it.
And we have so many knobs on the P10. Let's use maybe the left side for ADSR, and then we have a second side for another envelope.
Yes, let's do that. So
I mean, you also could put several parameters on one knob, but then you have to switch, and then you know the old Eurorack problem, where one knob is used for 2 functions. So
no, I don't like that too much.
If you can afford a separate knob for each function, it's much more fun.
Buy it.
Yeah, that's the reason why I made the P10, that you have enough ports for everything.
Buy it.
Okay.
So
you can't. I'm still waiting for the faceplates.
I want to control the ADSR with those parts.
Yeah, that's one of the simplest things that you can do. You write attack equals
P10 1.
No, this is
P10 3.
This is 3. You see here the numbers here. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's so attack equals we all want P10. Yes.
P10.
No, it's P2. It's P2. The number is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is P2 without the dot.
Oh,
so
sorry.
P2 dot and now 3. Yes. That's
okay. Then we have decay.
And then let's skip one. Let's make P2.5 because then we get the left side. You know, it's 3, 5, 7, 9 here.
Yeah. P2 5.
Yeah.
Then we have the sustain phase.
Yeah, sustain is a level. It's not a timing. It's a level. You know for 20 decades now, but maybe if you're new
P27.
to- yeah, P27.
0.7.
I mean, you could, if you like, you could of course save one pot and make decay and release the same. Sometimes,
Yeah, makes
it's
sense
sufficient.
sometimes, yes.
but for now we have enough pots, so let's take the luxury to
So it's P29, I guess. So
let's try it out. Oh, sorry, I help you. Take this.
09.
Yeah,
Sorry.
don't mind. Don't mind.
The Explorer here.
What's up?
Closed.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, this eject sucks. As some of you might already know, I'm working on an expander which is called X7, which gives you USB access directly to the SD card in the master, so you won't have to switch this card anymore.
Sounds like an 80s hit.
Yeah. Does it work?
Perfect.
This Moog 3P really sounds fat and warm.
Well, where's the attack phase?
This one, yeah, the first. Does it work?
Not too much going on there.
Yeah, it's very short. It's very short.
Oh,
But you can make it, of course, longer. Ah, it's interesting. You know, if the attack phase is still running when the next trigger comes, you know, when a trigger comes and starts the attack phase, and it takes too long, and the next trigger comes during the attack phase, then there are two things that could happen. One is that immediately cancel everything and restart it from new, or
begin on the phase.
or continue. Yeah, and that's something you can set. There's a parameter for that.
It's very good.
But for the while, when we make the clock slower, if you want to make the attack longer, it's very easy. You simply multiply this with some number, of course. It's just I have chosen default values for these 4 pots, which I find kind of most musical and useful.
Does that work?
Yeah, of course, times 3, so it's like...
Sorry.
Is it something with the cats, maybe?
I don't know. Save it. Pause.
Maybe I've tuned it to my personal taste, the range of the 4 knobs. So, I mean, the sustain knob is very simple. It's from 0 to 1, simply a level.
Yeah. Okay.
Sounds
Multiply it.
Yeah, it sounds really good. Do you have stacked oscillators here?
Yes,
Is it
two
on this too?
oscillators.
Okay.
But from the same oscillator bank.
Yeah. And now we could add a second envelope, simply mix it together,
Yeah.
as you suggested.
Let's
try that.
let's try out so we have kind of 16th notes here running. Tuk, 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 tuk. Maybe we can try out and you know, always make 3 16th notes and like
So you want an automatic, a second envelope which is playing every 3rd clock
yes.
pulse. Okay. Nice idea.
Duck, 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 like doing like this, going through.
Okay, so this is our master clock.
Yes.
Is this in 8ths or
This is
16th?
16th notes.
16th. So
So
the first thing we need to divide it by 3.
Yeah.
So let's take a clock divider.
Mm-hmm.
We don't make it in the second LFO because it's not in sync. We make a clock divider, which is another nice thing which Droid can easily do. So there is a thing called clock tool.
You think?
Yeah, the clock tool can divide, it can multiply, it can delay, it can do all
Very good.
kinds of interesting stuff. It can change the gate length, for example. You can modulate the gate length.
So we input the clock.
Yeah. Input is clock. Let me see if it's clock or input. I need to have a look at the manual. Sorry for that. Sorry guys, I don't know my own stuff by heart. So you don't need to be ashamed if you need to look at the manual. And there's a cheat sheet. The cheat sheet.
Cheat sheet.
Yeah, let's go to the cheat sheet. It's
Cheat
much better
sheet.
than this. The cheat sheet. Let's see if I can Google it. Maybe you can do the same. Droid sheet.
Droid for dummies.
It's here. This one. Let's print it. Two-sided. It's always a good idea. I show it. I have no cable. Can you let
I
me
can.
jump out for a while? And then I take another cable for showing my laptop so that the audience can see.
Show your laptop.
Yeah, see the contents of my screen and the no. I show it in real. It's easier.
How does the clock tool work?
So, it has shrunk. I don't know why the printer has made it so small. So this, let us switch to this camera so you can see.
Hold it.
It's too bright.
I can't read this. Yeah.
Yeah, the printer has made it very small. Sorry for that. Yeah,
Doesn't work.
that's just the idea of how it looks like. So
Let's honor the idea.
but I can read it maybe with my
Okay.
lens. So the clock tool,
We need an input.
clock tool.
Would this work?
That's
Yeah.
the clock tool.
Would this work?
Yeah, I'm just not sure if the input is called clock or input. This is a very outdated version. no, here is it, clock. The input is called clock. So there's a basic rule in the Droid. Every module, every circuit that takes a clock has the name clock as the input. So it's called clock equals clock.
Clock equals clock.
Yeah, but here without underscore, because this is the name of the
Oh.
It's called jack. Actually, jack.
Mhm.
These circuits have jacks, and this jack is called clock. And
Like this.
yeah, perfect. So it has an input clock, and then it has an output clock. It's called the output is called output. Output equals, and then we send it to an and we want the division by 3, don't we?
No, a division by 3, yes.
So we maybe underscore clock 3 or something, you could name it. Or clock div 3 or some name
Oh, okay.
that we know.
316. Can I write this?
No, you don't. This
would
slash
actu-
is
this
not
would
allowed.
actually.
The slash is not allowed,
Okay.
but you can make it. I would call it clock 3. That we know it's a clock.
Okay.
Clock.
3.
Yeah, maybe without the space.
Okay.
I think it's. I think the space should be allowed here, but I'm not.
But it would.
Now it's the
output-
same. Now we
Okay.
don't have any division. So now it's very simple. Then you write divide equals 3.
3.
That's it.
Ooh.
And you could at the same time multiply it. For example, you could make multiply equals 2. Then you get something like this.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Mhm.
So, but let's keep it
Oh,
simple
yes.
for the while.
But
Or you can make cool rhythms. You make multiply equals 32 and divide equals 31, and you get a pattern which every 32 eighths runs out of sync and comes back into sync. You know, you have two voices,
Mm-hmm.
and one plays 31 notes and the other 32 at the same time, which is actually called polymetric. That's polymetric. Polyrhythmic. That's polyrhythmic, and not polymetric. Okay. So,
Works on a circlone.
can the circlone do that?
In a way, yes.
Okay. So that's it. And now we use that underscore clock 3 in order to trigger a second envelope.
Yeah.
That was the
So
idea.
envelope.
And you can copy all the whole crap here again, maybe, or you can. You are fast in typing.
Let me copy it. But the gate input is different now. Am I right?
Yeah. Now we use the clock underscore 3.
Yeah.
I mean, basically, we have no gate length here. The original gate length is being lost through the division, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So we could. No, is it lost? We could.
So we have a different input, don't we?
Maybe, yeah. Now it's called underscore clock 3.
Clock 3, yes.
The question is, do you want an ADSR or?
And we have to change this because
Of course, yeah, of course. Maybe an AR is sufficient for that task, or do we need sustained phase?
AR is enough.
Then let's take a trigger input here to make it simpler.
Mhm. The output is
Yeah, make for the while O2, and then we need to create the sum of both.
attack, decay. So this we can erase this.
Yeah, we need release. It's attack and release in that case. I know there are some envelopes that call it attack and decay. In that case, I went for attack and release.
Release. Okay.
And then we need change it to 4, and we need these.
Yes. It's
The
P24.
this is the P24,
P24, and this is 6.
P26. Yeah.
4.
It's too dark. Make it light again. Yeah.
P6. So, should this work?
I guess so.
But we need them to mix together, don't we?
We can make that in a second step.
Okay.
We just let's check it out if it works by sticking that cable there, and if it works, then we create
Okay.
the sum of both.
So
Let's try it out. Bing. So if we turn it up, here this is the sect. You see, every third time we get something here.
so let's now mix them together. At
Let's
output number.
listen to the second one.
Yeah.
Perfect. So mixing is very easy. It's like the LFOs that we already have mixed. It's completely the same. But now let's make it a bit more sophisticated, because we don't want to waste. We don't want to waste the two outputs for the individual envelopes. We just need the mix.
We just need the mix.
So, in order to do that, go to the first contour, and instead of sending that to O1, send it to an internal patch cable. For example, ENV1 or ENV whatever.
Yeah. And
And
the
the
other one
second
is
to
ENV2.
ENV2. And then we add them.
Contour, output, ENV2 cable.
Yeah.
Oh. And then
we need to fix another problem first, the levels. Because every contour, every value on the Droid ranges from 1 to 0. So if you have two contours and get the attack, it goes to 20 volts.
string. Oh.
And we cannot have 20 volts. So you get some kind of distortion here.
But we have the maximum parameter, don't we?
Yeah,
And
but
the
that's
envelopes
just
also.
clipping. Better would be to use a level. The envelopes have a level parameter.
Yeah.
You simply set the level to 5 volts for everyone, or to a knob or something. Then you can.
I would use
mix
the knobs.
them, yeah.
Because it's important to mix them in a
Okay,
proper way.
then we use the knobs. We have 2 knobs left here. Use
We need big ones for that purpose.
Okay, let's use the big ones. So this
Because
is
it's one of the main parameters.
we have these 2. Don't we? Yeah, we have these 2. This is ADSR, AD.
Yeah.
Then we use that for the level of the first envelope and that of the second.
Yes, we do.
Very simple.
So we need to. What do we need?
We simply write level equals no circuit for now. You just add to the contour and let's start with the first one. Scroll up a
Yes.
bit. Yeah, here we add level equals P
2 1.
1. Yeah. Perfect. And the second contour we use P2.2 and then we have
P2.2.
of course we could make a crossfade, but let's keep it simple for the while. To make with
Level-
just one port a crossfade would also be interesting.
There is this depth module I use a lot, the small one, the crossfader. which is
Crossfade, yeah,
pretty
between
good.
2 envelopes.
Yes.
It's a nice idea. Also the S1 has one crossfader.
Actually, I
between.
did a really interesting experiment yesterday with the crossfader. I have two A150 sequencers by Döpfer. I can run them on audio rate.
Oh.
And I had 2 sequencers, which it was like you know, sounded like a really oscillators and overtones and
Yeah, okay.
you know, and I tried to switch them over, and so I did this with the crossfader,
Crossfading.
which did really interesting results.
Okay.
Having 2 sequencers, each running on audio rate, and feeding them into oscillators,
Yeah.
sine wave oscillators, sine oscillators. This was really interesting.
So kind of FM. Sounds interesting.
It's really interesting. I have to show you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So level equals
P22.
P22.
And now we need to mix them together for the output. We can use a copy circuit. Or you can use, if you want, you can use the mixer circuit.
Yeah, the mixer circuit.
Yeah,
We didn't use it.
It's more
already.
readable. Simply write mixer,
Mixer.
cheat sheet, where are you? Yeah, mixer.
Mixer. And then
Input 1, input 2.
input 1, input
Yeah,
2.
input 1 equals
1 equals.
right without a space. It's
Oh,
it
okay.
probably works with space, but it's usually we make like that.
Okay.
And then we need
Is
this
envelope
underscore, yeah, underscore and 1,
And 1, and the other input is input
2.
2 equals envelope 2. And then we set the maximum on 5 volts. Just to try out. Just to have fun.
But then we get
We get
nasty distortion.
Why? It just
We clip it.
clips
at
on
yeah,
5 volts.
Yeah, it clips. Okay, make it. Or
Okay.
or I can use a third pot for the
I
maximum.
mean, we can feed in 10 volts also in the Moog.
Yeah,
it's
then
no
let's
problem.
out the maximum for the while. Now
Output
output goes to output goes to
P cool.
01. We still have this envelope here.
Okay.
Yeah, 01. We have dropped the 01 from the envelopes
Mhm.
directly. So
1.
yeah, there's a matrix mixer circuit also, by the way. A 4x4 one which can be expanded to bigger ones.
Really interesting. So,
Okay, so now I'm
I get used to this
let's
stuff.
start this. What's up? Something has stopped to work.
Something has stopped to work.
We have no sound at all. Is it some
Is it-
issue here at the Moog?
No.
We have these mixers very low. Okay, so now let's try it out. So this is... Aha.
Will you turn me down for a moment?
One moment.
Turn my microphone down for a moment.
You are 3. Okay. So let's try it out. So we have the level of the second envelope. There's some problem with the level of the first envelope. Let's check it out. First envelope isn't working anymore. Let me see what's going on here. Level is P. Output is N1. For some reason, the first envelope won't there's some nasty little problem here. Let's put the output of the first envelope to an actual output in order to see what's going on. Copy. Now I've seen the problem. In the mixing circuit, we have written input 1 twice, so this has all been overwritten. We need 2 here. That's the problem fixed. Eject. Reload it. Check it out. And now add the second envelope. And as you can hear, probably, every third beat gets an additional attack. Mario, where are you? Working. Yeah, it's just I am YouTube. It's just you happened we happened to use input 1 2 times and not write input 2. So it's overwriting each other.
Alright.
So that's it. I mean, I guess as a short introduction should be enough, and
Yeah.
and we could start the second part
Playing some
of
music.
this stream. The second and most important part of this live stream is that we jam together and make a little
Make
concert.
music.
So,
You can't save it. It's already saved on
and do you think it's doable for you
Yeah.
to work with that?
It's actually easy.
And sometimes
I have
you
to check.
mistype something or so, but the basic principle is
Really easy.
you just need to get some training with the names
Get used
and
to, yes.
get used to. But I think it's like patching, but because basically you decide the parameters and the connections, and that's very much like a normal modular where you turn knobs and make cables, and it's basically the same.
It saves a lot of space.
Just virtual, and you squeeze so many functionality. I mean, we have 2 envelopes and still use just one of the outputs here. It's I mean, this Droid has so much more space to put stuff into. We already have so many parameters, so many sound design possibilities. Ah, wow. Cool. And how do you like the sound of the envelopes of the Droid? Do they sound in any way digital to you?
The only thing is the attack phase, which works different too.
Yeah.
So, but you can, just
the range.
multiply the range.
I made the range of the knob very short, but it's a Swayman way to do it, because in the Swayman envelope, it's also the tech knob is very short ranged. And I personally like that because I work with.
Well,
but you simply multiply with any number and you get the same.
Is there a possibility to change the shape of the decay phase?
Yeah, of course. Okay. There's so many. You can shape every single phase, either all of them together, or you can just shape a single phase, and you can morph it between log and lin with a CB, of course. And then you have a volt per octave input where you can change the length of the envelope according to the pitch. So the higher notes get shorter.
Like a natural way
lots of these stuff. So basically, I looked through Modular Grid for all envelopes I could find and implemented every single feature of one of them to this one. So it's hard to find an envelope that has more parameters in Eurorack than that one.
I'm really curious. Yeah, I will definitely sit down and check it out for my live rig.
Perfect. So
thanks.
Are you fit for making music?
I hope. I hope.
Yeah, so thanks for your patience for watching this small Droid introduction.
Yeah. And thanks a lot. And
you have a good starting point.
I hope I didn't make a fool out of myself.
No. You actually are, I think, pretty smart.
I have to say I'm more, of course, an analog guy.
Who is not? Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but.
I mean, I also like this analog stuff, but
sometimes at first I was a little intimidated about the functionality this module has, and it's so many functions.
Yeah, it's a problem solver.
Yeah,
and space saver.
Yeah,
and then in addition, it can do things which is impossible with any other modules. All these combinations. Yeah, and in my live rig I have lots of these droids, as you can maybe see here, or let me see here. No, it's just part of my rig. I play 4 droids and I think about 25 controllers altogether.
Your drum machine?
I have a drum machine. I have so many things. It's incredible how many functionality musical functionality I've solved with this Droid now.
Your CV looper?
CV loopers, yeah.
Which is
intelligent really octave switches for the FM modulation, octave switch, which also can create a perfect fifth. So we have this this perfect FM sound.
Pure intonation
with
a calibration.
Yeah.
Circuit.
Even automatic pure intonation. This Droid supplies. So let's play, man.
Yeah,
let's play music.
Let's play music.
Let's play music. So let's try it. So let's get rid of the laptop
and of the microphones.
And we now unmute the microphones. So maybe sometimes
mute the microphones.
I show into the chat from time to time, maybe, but we mute the microphones for now and enjoy the music. Egal.
Sag es bei dir rein.
Okay.
Ciao.
So, ciao. Ciao, everybody. Thanks.
Thanks
Thanks for
watching.
listening. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.
Yes.